Hello, gentlemen. Today I'm going to break down my favorite run defenses in College Football 25. Now, just a quick heads up, these are 3 separate videos that I posted on Twitter, and I'm just combining them together into one video on YouTube. And just a reminder that I post every single day on Twitter, so if you guys aren't following me over there, you're missing out on a ton of free tips for College Football 25 and Madden 25. So if you want to follow me, go check out the link in the description. Now let's get into it. What's up, guys? Today I'm going to talk about my favorite run defenses in College Football 25. So yesterday I posted how the run commit glitch is no longer a thing, so you do need to have viable run defense. So I'm going to show you a few different plays out of 3-4 odd that I use. They kind of vary in riskiness, so you can pick the one that is best suited for you. And then later on in the day, I'll show you a shotgun run shoot out of a different defense. But I do think 3-4 odd is the best formation in the game for stopping the run and the pass. Okay, so let's start with the least risky play call, which is going to be cover 4 drop. Cover 4 is a natural run defense. We have safeties and run fits, so they are going to come up and run support. And it's just overall a very balanced defense against both the run and the pass. So cover 4 drop. We'll just go against under center for now. I would say that this defense is really more about stopping under center runs. We'll talk about shotgun runs later on in the day. But what I like to do out of cover 4 drop is press, so Y or triangle, left stick down, and then pinch our defensive line with D-pad left, left stick down, and then crash them down, D-pad left, right stick down. So when we have this pinch defensive line and they're crashed down, we're covering the guards and the center. It makes it very hard for the offensive line to climb to the second level. It does a great job at protecting our linebackers, and overall it's going to deter a lot of inside runs. So if we look at our run fits, you're going to see that everybody's in a run fit except for the outside cornerbacks. I'll show you something you can do to get them involved in a second. But overall, this is going to be really good run defense at kind of just being a universal type of flow defense where you're not going to shoot the run in the backfield or anything, but it's very easy to just kind of contain every run in the game using this defense. So again, the only players that aren't in run support are the outside cornerbacks. So go ahead and watch both of them, or you can just watch one of the outside cornerbacks. You're going to see that they backpedal and they give up some depth. And it's not the end of the world. It's fine if you leave them most of the time. But against certain formations, you don't want that. You want them to aggressively attack the run or attack the ball carrier. So something you can do to get them involved is to blitz them. So press, pinch D-line, crash down, and then you can blitz both or just one of your outside cornerbacks. So what I'll do, let's say I'm expecting a stretch to the right. I can blitz this guy, maybe bring him out a little bit, and then deep half this guy. So even though this guy's in a deep half now, since we came out in cover 4, you're going to see that he's still in a run fit. So we're kind of cheating the game that way, getting that guy involved. But notice how that cornerback is setting an edge for us by coming down aggressively because he's now blitzed. He's in run support now. And it's going to be very hard to get to the outside here because he's holding that edge. Now, let's say you're playing an opponent who recognizes this and they're like, okay, I'm not going to run towards the blitzing outside cornerback, so I'm going to flip my run to the other side of the field. Well, 3-4 odd is symmetrical, so luckily we can do it on this side of the field too. Maybe drag this guy out just a little bit. And then you're going to see that it's going to be very bad for them because we have every single player on the field in a run fit. And I'll show that to you right now. I'll show you that every player is going to be in a run fit whenever we set it up like this. And you won't be doing this against every formation in the game. Like, this is a very compressed set, so we can get away with doing it. You can maybe set your curl flats at 20 or whatever just to protect you against corner routes. But again, this is very, very hard to run against. We're basically run committing without any of the negative side effects because if they pass, we're going to play our zones. So as you can see, there's just nowhere to go. This morning, I posted a run defense out of 3-4 odd cover 4 drop, which is a very safe play call. You're going to be good against the run and the pass. But let's go ahead and continue this with another method, which is going to be a man coverage look. That is a little bit more risky, but it's a very similar concept with what we talked about. So we're going to use saw blitz 1, and then we'll just go against random run. Okay, so let me walk you through the setup, and then I'll explain why I like this defense. So pinch your defensive line with D-pad left, left stick down. We're going to spread our linebackers with D-pad right, left stick up. And then you have the option to contain. You're going to bring this middle blue safety up into the box, and this is going to be your user. So the reason I like this, we have the pinch defensive line. I explained this in the first video. This is going to help your linebackers. We're just going to really make it hard for those offensive linemen to climb. Then we have those spread linebackers. They're going to set a very wide edge. And then everybody is man-to-man across the board and we can help on any kind of routes with our user, and we can also just kind of flow against any kind of run play. So you're going to see it's very, very difficult to really run against this front. If somebody is smart, they will not try to run against this. They will definitely, try to pass. But we'll talk about some adjustments you can make in a second out of this, because if you're playing somebody good, you can't really run just straight man-to-man with your user in the middle of the field. It's not really going to be viable. But you're seeing all of these random runs just getting blown up by this front because it's very difficult to deal with. Another reason I like using man coverage is that we're going to be much more protected against RPOs. So if they're in a shotgun formation, maybe like a trips tight end or something, and they use an RPO slot bubble, you're going to see that we're going to be much more protected when we come out in that man coverage as opposed to a zone coverage. Now, let's say you've been using this defense against your opponent and you've been limiting all of his runs to very marginal gains. Well, then he's going to start passing. There's really no other solution to move the ball. And the problem with this defense is that it's not really great at stopping the pass. We're sending 5 at the quarterback, and it's not any kind of design blitz. So nobody's going to run free at the quarterback. And then it's just man-to-man across the board, and he's going to have plenty of time to wait on somebody to pop open. So if you're going to try to use this defense to stop the run and the pass, you better know how to adjust out of it. Because if you look at this play against verticals, for instance, from trips tight end, you're going to see it's very simple to just hit the tight end on a corner. You just gave up a touchdown. So this isn't really meant for stopping like all of the good plays in the game. Like, that's just not how things work. So if you want to use this as a full-time defense, you really need to know how to adjust, use your zone drops, all that kind of thing. It's like right here, I'll show you. You can help out on that corner by putting a 20-yard curl flat on that side. We can maybe change things up by putting a outside third there. And I'll show you now. Now we're playing much better pass defense across the board. So I've shown you guys 2 methods on how to stop the run in College Football 25, and this is going to be the most aggressive method. It's going to be using a cover 0 blitz to take away the run as well as defend the pass. It's just aggressive because it's a cover 0, so you're at risk of certain routes cooking your man coverage. But overall, this is a play that I've been using since the start of the year. This is one of my favorite plays on defense, and it gets really good pressure. One thing that I want to mention before I talk about the run defense is that I have a full breakdown on 3-4 odd on acemadden.com. So if you guys need a little bit of extra guidance and you want a full defense that's going to work for you, go check that out. It's very good, and it's going to have an update very soon that's going to have a new 5-man and 6-man blitz. Okay, now let's talk about the run defense. Let's start this off by pinching the entire defense with RB and then left stick down. That's going to pinch your D-line, your linebackers, and pressure cornerbacks all at once. We're then going to contain, which is RB, and then RB again. And then we're going to user the linebacker man to the running back. In this case, there's a fullback and a running back. So we'll user this guy and hover him above your nose tackle and just flow to where the run is. So this blitzing linebacker is going to do a lot of work for us oftentimes. And like right here, this is a shotgun formation. And you really want the blitzing linebacker to go into this gap right here because that's where the running back is oftentimes going to be running. So if they're in shotgun, you can flip this. Extra square and then RT. So now the linebacker's blitzing into that gap, which is what you want. Then you can hover right here. So this is halfback direct pass. So that's actually a pretty good run, to be honest. You have to be careful against that one. But overall, most shotgun runs are going to get blown up just by the blitzing linebacker. So do it again. So draw. That's not going to be a good run against this kind of blitz. Right here. We're going to leave that linebacker blitzing over there. Going to look out for like a toss or something. Linebacker comes through the gap. And that's just one of the reasons I like using this so much is because if they pass the ball, we're going to have good pressure. If they run the ball, we're basically blitzing them as well and blowing things up in the backfield. And then just to give you a couple of advanced adjustments against somebody who's going to pass against you, you do want to know about shading and individually backing off your cornerbacks. So let's say you're facing somebody who has takeoff on a receiver. You want to press Y, A for individual, and then the receiver you want to back off of. So we'll just do Y for now. And then left stick or right stick up, and that's going to back them off so we don't get completely torched. You can do that for any of the receivers. And then you can also shade coverage. So Y, you can do shade outside if you're worried about corner routes. You can individually shade, but I'm not going to talk about that in that video. That's a bit too advanced. But do realize that you can back guys off individually without moving them, as well as do some shading to take away certain routes. Anyways, that's going to wrap up the run defense mini-series, and hopefully this helps you guys out against people who love to spam runs in your dynasties or whatever. Because I know the feeling, if you can't stop a run, it's extremely frustrating. It feels helpless and feels like they're not really outskilling you. They're just calling a play that you haven't really prepared for or know how to stop. But these run defenses are pretty universal out of 3-4 odd, and they will do a great job at forcing your opponents to pass. So thanks for watching. Drop a like if this was helpful. Then I'll see you guys in the next one.